All right, guys. So we got some Mikefireburn here. Now, some of these military stories hit me in the chest because I remember stuff like this, or I was a part of stuff like this. Yeah, we're gonna be listening today about Baloney Bob, and this was requested by Crimson. So this is. I checked out the Rimworld organ harvesting thing, which, wow, that guy is completely screwed up in the head. And this was the second most requested, so this is what we're doing. So, today, Baloney Bob Campfire Stories by Mikefireburn. Not much more of an intro past that. Let's get into it.
I have had some pretty bad roommates while I was in the military.
Yes.
I had some bad ones too, mostly not in the military. Basically, it was one guy. I was with 3 other guys sharing a 2-bedroom condo.
When was this?
This is when you were in Louisiana, I think.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was going to college because I decided
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to go into the military directly out of high school.
Yeah. Should have stuck with that decision.
I was with 3 other guys sharing a living space, and one of them was my bunkmate, but he got married and he left. And the other 2 guys were like, well, we need a 4th person to take his place and pay rent. Otherwise, we have to pay more.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, that's fine. Go find somebody. They found somebody. His name was Jeremy.
Is this why you named the Pikmin Jeremy?
Maybe subconsciously.
Oh, God.
Jeremy was technically going to college like we were.
Uh-huh.
Maybe not getting the best of grades, as he spent most of his time at home not doing homework, but playing World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Somehow I knew you were going to say World of Warcraft. How did I know that?
Like, legitimately playing World of Warcraft with Cheeto stains on his underpants.
Uh-huh.
I ended up, after a few weeks, leaving. And they're like, you gotta pay rent. It's like, fine, I'll pay rent. I'm gonna live with my mom. You can have my rent money. I don't want to be here.
Oh, no.
He smells bad, and he's always here.
God.
He wasn't a bad guy, but he did not take care of himself.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's always a bad sign.
I had a roommate when I was at Fort Polk. We all called him Baloney Bob
Okay.
because he always smelled like old baloney.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Baloney Bob was not the smartest man, not by a long shot.
And here I thought the army only took the best.
Normally the army might only take the best, but this was the heady days of post 9/11, when anybody could get in the army with a smile and a wave, and all you had to do was just tell the recruiter that, yes, me want go army, me drive truck, and they would immediately sign you up.
We need somebody for this military conflict we're getting entangled with. How long is it going to take? 3 weeks, 3 months, I doubt 3 years.
Definitely won't still be going
my
on to
God.
this day. So Baloney Bob was an interesting man. He was a vehicle mechanic and knew absolutely nothing about how to fix vehicles. Well, we got moved into new barracks, and when I say
The amount of times that somebody would come and not know the basic functions of their job sometimes was just... In some cases, it's understandable because you don't have the exact kind of equipment you're going to be working on. Especially if you're working in a highly technical field, you don't have the exact kind of equipment that you're working on. When I trained for what I was going to be doing, and I got out to my ship, and I saw the build that I was going to be working with, I was like, okay, I've never seen that piece of equipment, that piece of equipment, that piece of equipment, or that one, and those control all my primary functions. So I had to legitimately bury myself in these publications and technical manuals for months to learn how to do the stuff that I was supposed to know how to do coming out of training school, but the equipment was simply not there.
say new barracks, I mean they were new to me. The barracks had existed since time immemorial.
Nice.
Yes.
The walls were filled with asbestos.
Even better.
There were mosquitoes spawning in the toilets. There was mold on the walls. But we got new furniture that they had bought from a remained hotel outlet for incredibly cheap.
All right.
When we got moved into the new barracks, I was like, I wonder who my roommate's gonna be. I would prefer to have this person or this person because I'm friends with them and I like hanging around with them. And it would be fine if they were my roommate. Well, they moved us into the room and I get Baloney Bob.
Oh no.
And I'm like, why am I in a room with Baloney Bob? And I talked to the lieutenant that was in charge of organizing where all the soldiers that lived in the barracks lived, and I said, why did you put me in a room with Baloney Bob? And he went, oh, I thought you didn't have any friends. I'm like, so you put me in a room with Baloney Bob? Yeah.
Thanks.
Baloney Bob and I moved into the
nice.
same room. And I guess it wasn't as bad as all that, because a lot of the time Baloney Bob wasn't there. I don't know where the fuck he went.
All right.
But he wasn't in the barracks room.
That probably made you happy.
Unfortunately, the room did smell like bologna. I did have to invest very heavily into air fresheners for my side of the room.
During your weekly inspection, did you get in trouble for that?
Monthly inspections, because they didn't really do weekly inspections, they did monthly inspections.
Oh.
Okay.
So one day, during a monthly inspection, I'm cleaning up the room and making sure everything's good, and I'm cleaning the little common area that we have. It's like a sink and a tiny refrigerator. I look over on Baloney Bob's side of the room, and Baloney Bob isn't there. I don't know where the fuck he is. I guess he just went on walks somewhere because his car is still parked outside, even though he doesn't have a driver's license. Why the fuck does Baloney Bob have a car if he doesn't have a driver's license?
What?
Whatever, fine.
Okay.
I'm cleaning the common areas. I look over on his side of the room, and it looks like set dressing for a bad B movie of what a serial killer's room should look like.
This may be why he disappeared, so you'd have to deal with it.
There you go.
I'm like, I'm not touching anything on his side of the room. I don't want him to start squealing like a pig at me, because if I touch anything on his side of the room, it's gonna be for like hours, and I just don't want to deal with that. So I don't touch anything on his side of the room, and I'm like, if I get yelled at for it, fine, whatever. I'll just take a dump on Baloney Bob's pillow or something.
Jeez.
That's an actual
party.
tactic.
I think that probably happened to him several times, and it didn't take.
Okay.
It didn't seem to do anything.
Might be the only time soap touched his body.
Probably.
Oh, we'll get to that.
If you guys don't know, watch Full Metal Jacket. It's either called a sock party or a soap party. But if you watch Full Metal Jacket, it's what happened to Private Pile.
Captain comes into the room. He looks at my side of the room, and he's like, why do you have a... Oh my god, I forgot about this. I just forgot about this until right this second.
Why do you have a 6-foot pillow of a foot?
What?
So he goes through my side of the room, and I got like a bunch of fucking weeb drawings that I've done, like hanging up on the wall and shit. And he's like, why the fuck do you have a Lindsay Lohan calendar? And I'm like, shut up, I like it.
She was cute before the surgery. Look at them freckles.
2005, 2006, she was prime time hot.
This is true.
Like Mean Girls time.
Like, this is true. These days, you wouldn't want to touch Lindsay Lohan with a barge pole. But back in the time when she was actually in Mean Girls, she was, like, legitimately it.
Line. Ooh, damn. Anyway. What the fuck do you have a Lindsay Lohan character? You're never gonna meet her. And I'm just like, what? Why you crush my dreams, dude? So he looks at my side of the room. It's fine. Everything's clean. I got everything well organized. I've like made my bed properly. And for some reason, I still had a military wool blanket on my bed. Like,
Okay, so seriously, the military wool blankets were the literal most uncomfortable thing you could ever possibly imagine, ever. Like, they didn't keep out the cold, they were stiffer than hell, they itched like a son of a bitch, and it looked, and I'm not even kidding about this is really what it was. It looked like they blindfolded the guy and set him loose on a football field-sized sheet of wool and told him to cut squares. Because none of them were the same size. None of them were cut, with 90-degree angles. It was legitimately the worst blanket you could ever have. And you just did not want that thing touching your skin. And it always felt dirty and musty. It was horrible. It was just horrible.
everybody else is using like comforters or whatever, and I've just got like a gross, like a wool blanket from 1956 is on my bed, and he's just like, the fuck?
You sleep on that?
I'm like, it's comfortable, I like it.
How?
I like how it's itchy.
Oh, wow.
I actually still have, my grandpa gave me the wool blanket that he was issued while he was in the military, and I brought that one with me to Fort Polk, and that was the one I would use.
No, seriously, guys, you have no idea. Whoever they had cutting these blankets was sufficiently deficient in IQ.
Nice.
It's great. Anyway, he goes over to Baloney Bob's side of the room. He has a blanket and a pillow, but nothing else that goes on the bed. Mm-hmm. So there's no bed sheets. There's no pillowcase on it. It's just a blanket and a pillow, and they're all balled up in one corner.
How many other people used that mattress?
I know, right? He's like, what is this?
The sheets. He's doing laundry, I think. Yes, that's why.
No, I'm not covering his ass at all. At this point, there's been so many different little tiny things that have happened that I'm just like, I've had it with Baloney Bob, and at this point, If for some reason my superior officer sees something on Baloney Bob's side of the room that will get him kicked out of the military, I ain't gonna say boo to that. What? He just sleeps like that? I don't know, sir. Apparently so. I try to avoid going over there as much as possible. Alright. Whatever. Open the closet on Baloney Bob's side of the room, and there's a truck bumper in there.
What? An entire truck bumper?
Yep,
That's
bumper,
new.
brush guard,
That's
and everything.
new. I never heard of
Baloney
that.
Bob doesn't own a truck. He doesn't even have a driver's license. He owns a Sebring. Captain just looks at it and goes, "The fuck is this?" That's a truck bumper, sir. Yeah, I know it's a truck bumper. Why is it in here? I don't know, sir. Did you see him bring it in here? No, I did not, sir.
Why does he have it?
To this day, I don't know why he had a truck bumper. It was just in there. I guess he thought he was gonna put it on his car.
It was my grandpa's. I brought it with me.
Honestly, if he had said that, that wouldn't have surprised me. Well, Baloney Bob is still not here.
Where is he?
I don't know. I don't know where he was. He opens the refrigerator, looks in the refrigerator. There is a mason jar filled with ketchup. Why is there a mason jar filled with ketchup? I don't know, sir. It's Baloney Bob's, isn't it? Yes, it is, sir.
Can only assume he took ketchup packets from McDonald's and emptied them into it.
It would have been Burger King, and I'll tell you why. We go into the bathroom, and this is the moment that I've been dreading.
Oh no.
We go into the bathroom, and sitting on one side of the bathtub is a Burger King cup with a hole in the bottom of it. And it's not a neat hole. It's a hole like he jabbed his finger into it real hard.
Why?
And the captain points at it and says, "Why is that in here?" I said, "Sir, I have no idea why that's in here. Baloney Bob put it in here when he last used the shower 4 days ago.
Oh, no.
I don't know why it's in here, and at this point, I will not touch it."
Don't blame you.
I insinuated that basically the only way I would be willing to touch the cup was if I put on full hazmat mop gear and picked it up and put it into a 55-gallon drum and then sealed it and buried it in the Mariana Trench. That would be the only way I would.
The captain looks at you. You look at the captain. "Sir, I'll give you $20 to drink the contents of that cup."
Oh no, it's empty because it's got the hole in the bottom.
Oh,
At the very
God.
bottom.
At the very bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a hole at the very bottom of it.
Maybe he
Okay.
likes to fill it up with water and then unplug the hole and let the water pour over him. Like a shower.
How did you know that's what he was doing with it?
Wait, what? What?
What?
We get done with the room inspection. He's like, "Well, your room's fine. Like, I don't see any problem with it. But I'm completely baffled by what I have seen on Baloney Bob's side of the room." Baloney Bob came back while he was in somebody else's room, so somebody went and got the captain. He could provide no reasonable answer as to why he had a truck bumper in there.
Okay.
Someone framed me. I don't know who that is.
Could provide no reasonable answer.
That's
And
not
they're
my
like,
trunk bumper. It's a different license plate.
"Why don't you have sheets?" "Well, I don't. They're dirty." "So wash them." Well, apparently Baloney Bob doesn't know how to use the washer and dryer.
Of course not.
They're like, "This is disgusting. You need to sleep on sheets or something." We get to the cup. Baloney Bob, what the fuck is this? "I don't like to put my head underwater when I take a bath, so I fill the cup up with water and then I let it drain over my head." The fuck don't you just take a shower then? "I don't like to put my head underwater."
Oh, God, there are people that's dumb. Oh, that hurt my head.
That was it. That was the excuse he gave as to what he was doing. Exactly what you said with it. He would fill up the tub with water. He would get into the tub. He would fill up the cup with water and then hold it over his head and let the water drain out of it.
Which
All
is...
right.
Why don't you just take the cup and then pour it over your head? Why do you gotta poke a hole in the bottom of it?
Didn't you hear him? He said he didn't like to get his head wet.
So, Baloney Bob,
You'd think they wouldn't allow man-children in the
Oh,
military,
they
but no,
do.
there's a plethora.
there are a lot of man-children
They
in the
do.
military. I found out at one point that Baloney Bob, when he was younger, he and his friend had found a junkyard, so they had spent 5 or 6 hours in the junkyard just smashing windows of cars.
Okay.
And then afterwards, they found out that it wasn't actually a junkyard, but it was some rich guy's car collection.
How do you fuck that up? How? How do you... Oh, my...
So his family got sued for several $1 million.
Really?
Yeah, which they couldn't pay.
No shit.
And he escaped his debtors by joining the military.
Probably. Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. Baloney Bob was something else, and I'm glad that I don't have to deal with him anymore, and that I only think of him occasionally. And I look back upon our memories, the time I spent with Baloney Bob while I was in the military, and I laugh, because I don't have to deal with Baloney Bob ever again.
for my 3-month period of active duty military training. I roomed with 2 guys. One of them was named Ghost.
Oh, nice.
That was his actual last name.
Really?
And every time I walked past our barracks, he was outside smoking a cigarette. I'd say, "Hey, Ghost, how you doing?" And he'd look at me with his Dale Gribble eyes and go, "It's good." "It's 2 a.m., Ghost. Why are you out here?"
Why are you out there?
I don't even remember what reason I was out there.
Whatever.
But for whatever reason, I had to go do something at 2 a.m. and I'd come back and he'd be out there smoking a cigarette. "What are you doing?" "Smoking, duh." And I'd say, "Okay, I'll go to bed. All right, good night." And as I opened the door and poised myself to close it behind me, he'd say, "Hey, wait. Yeah, Ghost? You ever seen a man's balls in a vice?" And I'd say, "No, Ghost.
Pain Olympics.
Thankfully, I've never seen that." "Yeah. Don't ever join a gang." "Good night, Ghost. Sleep well."
Ghost sounded like he had some life experience.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if it was his persona or his actual life experiences, but that was one of the men I lived with for 3 months.
One of the guys I was in basic training with, who was very boisterous and outspoken and loud and kind of annoying, but whatever, that's fine. He would tell a lot of stories about stuff that he had done before he was in the military, and he was 19 years old. So he would tell a lot of stories about stuff that he did before he was in the military, and he said that he'd been like in a gang or something, and about like all the stuff that he had done and how he had seen people die. And he was like, "Yeah, I've been shot like 5 times, and I got stabbed twice." And pretty much everybody, it's just like, "Yeah, whatever, man. Sure, I bet that has happened to you." One day he takes his shirt off, and he has so many fucking scars.
All right.
And he's got like 5 large scars about as big around as my thumb, like 5 of them.
Yikes.
On his chest.
All right.
And this super fucking long, jagged one on his abdomen. And I was like, "What the hell are those from?" He's like, "This is when I got shot 5 times.
Okay.
Fuck?
Yeah. What?
What the hell is that one? And he's like, "That's where I got stabbed." They had to cut him open and remove like 2 feet of his intestines.
Like, legitimately, every division has this one guy who, before he joined the military, he ran with and, you know, he was a paratrooper in Nam and all this other kind of shit that he did before he was in the, you know, all the Call of Duty type kids that think that Call of Duty equals real life. This is the first time I've heard of anybody actually having someone like that.
Oh, jeez.
Because they were completely screwed and then sew him back together. Okay, yeah, never mind. You're not full of shit. I wonder if he and Ghost were related.
Maybe. Speaking of having more military experience than you let on, in boot camp, there was one person in a neighboring platoon who seemed to pick things up really quickly. He seemed to never be in trouble, which was rare, and he knew the commands, he could dress right, dress on command, he knew how to march, he knew his way around a rifle. It just seemed like he was made for the military life. And at the end of the 3-month training period, everybody is getting their assignments. You're going to be a private. You're going to be a private. You did exceptionally well, so you're going to be a private first class. You have prior college experience, so you get to be a private first class. And this guy, who's so good at everything, he's going to be Lance Corporal, because there's one person who always gets promoted out of the entire company that gets promoted to Lance Corporal, and it's going to be this guy. Who has already gone through boot camp once.
Oh, God.
But didn't graduate because of a medical
Oh,
issue.
okay.
Oh, that sucks.
He went through boot camp twice.
That sucks.
Oh, God. Oh. That wouldn't have been fun.
No, it wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have been. It really wouldn't have been. When I was in boot camp, I was at like. First of all, like, my boot camp lasted a ridiculous amount of time because they had to wait for whatever reason, because I made the mistake of telling them when I got there that I knew how to play an instrument. I knew how to play a musical instrument. So they put me in this specialized division that handled that kind of, you know, they played the music at all the graduation ceremonies because they don't have an official band for recruit division training. They put you in a special they put you in a special, division, and mine was in the they put you in a 900s division. That's what the division was called. It was a 900s division, and that meant that you were either doing rifles. You were doing the rifle show. You were doing the band, or you were doing the flags or something like that. You would be in that for that. Well, they held us before I did not start basic training for 3 weeks after I got to basic training, but I was living in basic training mode for those 3 weeks. We didn't get our uniforms, we didn't get nothing, we didn't get our penicillin shot, all this other kind of stuff. The people that I showed up with alongside, they had already graduated, and I was still in week 8. And in week, I go and they're doing your dental, and my wisdom teeth on the bottom of my jaw were ooh, this is going to be a rough one to tell. Basically, I had to have surgery. Oh man, this is a rough one to tell. I don't. It's not just this story; it's things that happened later on that give me this aversion to certain things, talking about certain things. But they told me I'd have to have surgery, and they had one or two options to do. They could do it while I was conscious. They could do it right then and there. They would numb the hell out of me, and they do it while I was conscious. And that was one option. The second option is they put me under anesthetics, and I have to restart boot camp. I had already been at boot camp for 3 months at this point. I had already been in Great Mistakes for 3 months at this point. I had 1 more month to go before I would leave and go to San Diego. I did not want to do another 3 months starting. If I went to a division and started as soon as I recovered from the anesthetic, I did not want to go to another division at that moment. So I let them do oral surgery on me while I was conscious. And let me tell you something, if you are ever in a situation under any circumstance known to God or man where somebody tells you, we want to do oral surgery on you while you're awake, don't do that shit. I'm just saying. Do not do that. Because, oh no, oh God. Anyhow. And of course when you get back, your cheeks look like this, so everyone's making fun of you. Your cheeks look like you have legitimately turned into a chipmunk and they're blown out all the way to here. So, that was fun. Not really. When I got back when I got back and told everybody what had happened, they thought I was full of crap. Until they found out I was being serious, because my RDC, one of my recruit division commanders, came out. He said, "You did what? You let them do what to you while you were awake?" And he just looked at me. He's like, "I thought you were a pussy, but fuck." Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. There's a Discord down in the link below. There's a Discord down in the description below where you can, come in, make request for reaction like this video was requested. And if you like to support the channel, have a Patreon. I will catch you guys next time.